Hey friends, Irene Lyon here. Welcome to this video, to this YouTube channel, and to this world of healing trauma, nervous system health, and all things neuroplasticity. Today I want to answer a question, but before I get into the question, make sure if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, somewhere near this video is a bell. You hit that bell, you subscribe, and you are notified when these new videos come out each week. Also, if you are not on my email list, please join it. It is one of the better ways to find out about what I'm up to, get new content, my online offerings and courses, online summits, the whole 9 yards. So again, sign up for that email list if you haven't yet already. All right, so today question came, can't remember where it came from, but it was a good one. So I'm gonna read it out and answer it. The person asked, is it common to experience anxiety? So is it common to experience anxiety while learning about childhood stress and its effect on the nervous system? So the answer, short answer to this is yes. And my sense is this person asked because they were watching some of my videos perhaps, and they started to feel what they would what we would term currently in society as anxiety. Now, I'm gonna break this down into two pieces. One of the pieces is to understand what anxiety actually is. Now, I've done other videos on this. I will post them below, but very short kind of way of describing anxiety is usually something physical. It is a sensation. I'm not talking about ruminating thoughts that cycle over and over in the head, awfulizing things and more mind-based stuff. I'm talking about physical sensations, so tightness in the chest, maybe tightness in the throat, a buzzing in the belly, or our ears ringing, or feeling our heart rate speed up. And it's possible that even as I talk about this right now, if you're watching this, which you are, you might be feeling some of these sensations. It's very possible. So for me, in the work that I do and my colleagues, anxiety is what we would call survival stress. I'm going to say that one more time. Anxiety is what we would call or term survival stress. It is the fight, so the fight, flee energy rearing its head. And again, I'm not going to get into all the branches of the nervous system. I have other videos on that. I will post them below, but short kind of description, we have something called the sympathetic nervous system, part of our autonomic nervous system, keeps us safe. It governs our internal organs and hopefully makes them work in the way that they're supposed to. The sympathetic nervous system has connected to it this fight-flight response. Something scary comes at us, there's a big accident or big sound, or we have a memory of something that was really scary, and our adrenaline, our reaction goes into this fight-flight mode. Heart rate goes up, the body goes into a physiological action to get away from that danger. And with that, we can get this feeling of what we would call anxiety, which is this survival stress, the fight-flight energy is trying to protect, fight, or flee and keep us safe. Okay, so let's just say, hypothetically, that someone had, when they were young, and this is most of us, something scary or bad that happened to us. Maybe it was a one-time event that was really big. Maybe it was a lifetime of adversity and abuse and torment and just things that weren't nice. Our system will go into this sympathetic fight-flight reaction to protect. Most of the time what happens, and I'm generalizing here, but most of the time when we're little, we cannot fight and we cannot flee. And so we go into what's called a shutdown response. This is the freeze response. Again, not going to go into all the details. I have other videos on those in other places. Look up the video polyvagal theory. I'll post it below. So person goes into the shutdown response to numb out and protect feeling these intensities. Even to stop awfulizing in our head, we will disconnect from the here and now, from our body, from our mind. This is what we would call dissociation. And even from the environment, we become clueless to that which is around us, which leads to a whole host of other problems like accidents, etc., not knowing where danger is. So let's just say person had a lot of bad things that happened to them. Fight, flight, wanted to happen, but it wasn't successful, so we go into a shutdown. Fast forward to this person now in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, age doesn't matter, but somewhere later on, when this person happens to come across my videos and they go, wow, this is something I need to learn. I think that maybe I had something like this that happened when I was young, and I think I probably shut down my body, my mind, and my connection to the environment. I know that because these things that Irene is talking about make sense. I'm experiencing ailments, illnesses, maybe social anxiety, maybe trouble sleeping, the whole 9 yards. So let's just say adult person realizes that they probably stifled and suppressed these fight-flight responses because they had no other choice. Here's the other thing to know. Our survival stresses, these things that we store in our bodies, they are in our somatic systems, in our organs, in our tissues, in our movement patterns, all of it. This stuff doesn't release just like that with time. It's not like a cut on a finger that when you give it time, it will eventually heal. Even if someone is immunocompromised, it'll probably heal, but it's going to take a little longer, but it will heal. The body will know how to do this. This level of physiology, neurophysiology, these fight, flight, freeze responses, these are trickier. And we're at a point in time in history right now, human history, where we need to work at getting them out. And we need to work at building what I call capacity within the system so that we can move these things out. And part of that is learning how to feel the old survival responses, these fight flight mechanisms that were stored in our system. Therefore, when a curious mind, when an interested mind, when someone who has decided, I want to work with this, and chances are this person who typed in that question is in that boat. There's a curiosity, there's a desire to learn. They have already opened up the gates, so to speak, of their somatic system. While they're learning, I want to say in quotes, just learning the psychoeducation and the theory, when I teach, I stay in my body. I'm feeling my pelvis. I know what is around me. I can feel my hands moving. I can sense this little kink in my neck that's just kind of irritating me today, but of course I can still be here and show up, but I'm aware of it. So because when I teach, even though it's theory, I'm not guiding you through lessons, me being embodied in how I present this, even though you're watching this weeks later, months later, after I make this video, it doesn't matter. It's piercing through, we could say, time, and it is landing in the current moment in your cells. You're connecting to the field that I'm creating, and it literally acts as this weird, spooky way of opening up your somatic system to these old stress responses, these survival stressors, fight, flight, and then of course the freeze that has kept you safe and not feeling these things. What we know through the research, specifically the ACE study, Adverse Childhood Experiences study, is that when we do not unwrap and open up and resolve and integrate and release these survival stressors and we stay in a freeze response, we get sick. I am not going to go into those details of that study. I will put it below so you can check that out if you want more information. But, or I should say, and we need to be aware, I believe, that working on these levels, these somatic levels, these fight, flight, freeze levels, what we would call trauma that's stored in the body, when we learn the information, the education, we might feel, as this person asked, anxiety. And then I like to say, let's take it one step further and let's reword that word, anxiety, with survival stress. I think anxiety gets a bad rap. When we have it, we want to get rid of it. We want to breathe it away. We want to take a pill to get rid of it, take a drink, whatever it is, distract ourselves from feeling it because we haven't taught the collective, the human collective, what this actually is. I hope you're getting this. It's important to understand what this actually is. And so when we can understand what this actually is and see that, I'm going to say this quote unquote anxiety, which is survival stress, as what it is, we realize that that anxiety, as tough as it might be to feel, is an entry point into some real old medicine. So overall answer to this question is yes. When we're learning the theory, when we're learning about childhood stress and trauma, it is very possible, if not probable, when we're open to this world and we want to work on it, that we will feel these survival stresses. We cannot heal at this level if we don't. We actually want to feel this stuff, get really good at being with these things so that we can have them come up, have them come out. Our unconscious nervous system knows, okay, it's safe. It's safe to bring this stuff out because he is learning what this is. It's like they're inside clapping, going, thank you, thank you, thank you for learning about this. Finally, I've been waiting. Where have you been all my life? In some weird ways, I think of the autonomic nervous system as waiting. It's like waiting for a pin to drop. It's like, they're finally interested in learning the theory. That means there's capacity and an interest to bring this stuff up and out. If someone doesn't have this interest and intention, doesn't mean they might not feel these bubbles and these intensities, these anxieties, but usually the question doesn't go one step further as it did with this person's question. I'm generalizing there, but typically if a person is not aware of this detail and how the nervous system works, the potential for it to heal and the traumas that we keep inside, usually because of just where they're at and what their system wants to see or doesn't see, it won't be quite the same. So this is where it gets a little more connected to a bigger picture, to a bigger energy force that is around us. And that intention, as one of my teachers would say, intention is a powerful instrument. And so when our intention is there and we want to learn and we're there open and willing, there's a very good possibility that you will feel uncomfortable sensations. Know that these uncomfortable sensations are not there to harm. They are there to help. And it's how we relate to them and how we get to know them and how we grow our capacity within that allows us to get those out, to work with them, integrate them, etc. If you are new to me and if you have not yet checked out any of my online programs or resources on my website, please visit those. There you will find many tools and ways that you can do this work with me and start growing that capacity from the inside out, getting more of this education on board that goes beyond these videos. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the person who asked this question. And I hope this has been useful for those of you that are here learning and watching these videos and feeling these things bubble up. All right, bye for now.